Well, let's be clear. The majority of property taxes that are collected are from non-homestead property taxes. Those are your commercial centers, your industrial parks, etc. That's where the bulk of about 70%. 30% is homestead property over the entire state. Depends a little bit on what municipality you're talking about. I think this is where the governor and the legislature are going to come out with a very robust plan explaining these nuances. And look, I trust their judgment. I think that they're going to actually put together a plan that's going to be the best thing for the state of Florida. If we repeal homestead property taxes, look, that'd be great for everybody who calls Florida home. I think that's something great that would be able to accomplish. But they're going to do what's right to make sure that we are definitely at a minimum decreasing that burden in property taxes, while also providing key services like you're talking about. Our sheriffs, they need to get paid. Our firefighters, they need to get paid, and they need to have the tools to do their jobs because we rely on those vital services. Same thing with road construction, road management, park management, etc.
And Cuba, where do you stand on that issue right now? And that's kind of a two-pronged question, both in terms of the action that's being taken, but there's some here that are also concerned on a brink of humanitarian crisis. We could see an exodus of folks from Cuba trying to make it over here to Florida. Thoughts?
Well, first things first, the humanitarian crisis has been occurring the last 70 years.
That's right.
That's right.
The last 70 years is the humanitarian crisis.
Right.
You have had a murderous communist dictatorship on Cuba that has stolen people's property, has stolen their liberty. You had Cubans who obviously live here in Miami and other parts of the United States. They fled they fled Cuba because of the Castros and Che Guevara, that maniac. So the humanitarian crisis has already started. What we are standing for is a free Cuba.
That's right.
A Cuba that actually stands for liberty and justice, equality, and property rights. A Cuba where the people who have called Florida home for the last 2 generations can actually go back to their native country and not go back in fear or in persecution of a communist dictatorship that does not align with American values and Western civilization. That aligns with the old Soviet Russia, the old Soviet Union. So the humanitarian crisis has already occurred. What we want to see is a free Cuba. And a free Cuba is going to be in the best interest of the Cuban people. That regime needs to go.
Would you support military